bro, they can release you for anything. Like, a cause is cause. Cause can mean anything.
Yeah,
so they can get out of any contract they want at any time. And that's why he said, man, if these guys just fought this, they wouldn't have to deal with it. But until they do, there's no reason for TKO to change the way they do business,
What's going on, everybody? This is Dr. Chris Featherstone here with Vince Russo for yet another episode of Running Through Russo. Oh, very nice. You got a stinker going on, man.
What is up, Doctor? What is going on? We are winding down our Sportskeeda days, Doctor.
Yeah, man. Wow. Yeah, yes. We are winding down. It's funny, man, because I had a fan of the show DM me a picture of the first Legion of Raw that we had.
I saw that.
Man. And it was November. I think it was November the 9th, 2020. So it's about almost 5 years, almost 5 years to the day, about a week and a half away, 2 weeks from 5 full years, man. That's we've been riding in the saddle together, man. So it's been fun, man. It's been a lot of fun.
Like I said, man, it's gonna be nice having nights off. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I started this morning at about 7:30, and by the time we get to this show, man, there's this much left in the tank, and I try to give it my all, but.
Yeah, but you're so good at what you do, man. If we record the green room of our conversations, it's usually tired me giving tired you a therapy pep talk. That's typically how it is. Just about every single week, and then we kick it into gear, man, and we do a good job.
We had something interesting today, Chris. I don't know what Raju's topics are, but we had David Otunga.
Oh, nice. Okay.
With me and Coach, and he's a full-blown lawyer.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And what happened was, he heard about the Andrade case, and he cut a promo. He cut a big video. And he said what I've been saying all along, they can't do that. They're
trying to block him for a year, right?
Yeah, you cannot stop somebody from making a living. And he said, no way, no how. And, that's the problem, Chris. And we've talked about this, those guys don't want to burn any bridges or piss anybody off because they think they're going to get called back again. BS, man. They're trying to get away with something that, literally is unlawful. And if you allow them to get away with that, I mean, they're going to keep doing to everybody else and everybody else. Think about this, bro. If a couple of people threw the red flag and said, no, you can't, there can be no 90-day clause or whatever, and they lost a couple of cases in a row and they paid a lot of money in legal fees to lose their cases, they may learn, what, man, if this is going to be the trend, we're not going to do it anymore. Absolutely. But if everybody agrees to that, why would they stop doing it? They're not going to stop doing it, man.
Agreed. And because help the listeners understand as far as what the clause was. To my knowledge, a wrestler, if they were released, not if their contract was up, but if they were released, there was a 90-day or if terms, or if there was agreement of terms, as far as them to be released, there was a 90-day no compete clause. And the no compete clause was for televised companies only, right?
Yeah. But bro, you have to understand, because David was going over these contracts today, and he said in the contract, bro, they can release you for anything. A cause is cause. Cause can mean anything. Yeah, so they can get out of any contract they want at any time. And that's why he said, man, if these guys just fought this, they wouldn't have to deal with it. But until they do, there's no reason for TKO to change the way they do business, you know?
I've seen, I haven't looked at any of this yet. I'm sure that, I haven't looked at any of this yet, but I'm sure that Otunga did a wonderful job with doing what he does because, he's a lawyer, so he's good at what he does. He's knowledgeable from what I've seen. I've seen probably one video of his because there's what's I like, actually. I've said this before. I like this trend of former wrestlers cashing out on YouTube dollars. I think that's phenomenal. I think that's great. And it goes to show, and it gives more leverage to the wrestler because so many people, so many wrestlers thought that they can only live by wrestling in the wrestling bubble. And because you have so many of these wrestlers who have that WWE stamp on them, as far as I remember, Otunga was a former WWE Tag Team Champion. And so having that stamp on him, having that on his resume, on top of being a Harvard lawyer graduate, I think that is a wonderful thing to have to cash out on. And it also makes me think in my head, man, he might find a nice living being a attorney for current or ex wrestlers.
Oh, absolutely, man. Without a shadow of a doubt. Bro, it's funny because on this show the other day we mentioned Devon. So I got a call yesterday from Devon, and I had not heard from him for years. And he was telling me, man, he's got a YouTube channel with 200,000 subscribers. Yeah. It's good for them, man. Really, really, when you think about the years and years and years, they broke their back. They're in such a political environment, on the road, away from their families. And now when they can find success at the end of the day, I think that is absolutely great. And I don't, we're in podcasting, Chris, but we're all freaking different. I don't look at these guys as competition. I can't be Devon. Devon can't be me. Yeah. And I think it's great, and more people need to capitalize on that.
Yeah, I've seen a few of Devon's videos, and I thought it was really cool too. If I'm not mistaken, he collabs with Maven's people because I know that it has that similar look to it, and I know that Maven was a guest on his podcast, or he was a guest on Maven's, or something to that nature. And I think Maven mentioned something like that before. But you can tell the similarities of the aesthetics when it comes to the production and things like that, which I think is great, man. Yeah. Because I think that Maven really set a trend when it comes to the former wrestler, podcaster, breaking the fourth wall type of genre that was created really in the past few years. And I think that that's a really good job, and it really have given people leverage to make dollars outside of the promotion, that you don't have to go through any Timbuktu indie show just to make rent. So I'm a fan of it, man.
And bro, let's face it too, Chris. Maven was not a top guy.
Right.
So it's not like he's a top guy having all this success. Raven was pretty much a mid-carder, but Raven's personality and the person that he is. So you didn't necessarily have to be at the top of the card in order to have a successful podcast. It all depends on you and your personality. And, I did something with him. He came out to Denver about a month ago. Met him for the first time, had an absolute blast with him. But, he's got that personality,
Yeah, and everybody has their thing, their lane, like Stevie Richards, for instance. He wasn't a top guy too, and he always talks about how much he wasn't a top guy, but he has, I think, close to 200,000 subscribers. And again, he brings a more relaxed type of psychological type of feel mixed with an athletic feel, and he has that type of analysis. He's analytical, and so I do someone who is in the psychology world, I like that analytical feel. And then Maven has charisma.
Yep.
So he brings the charisma piece to it. And Maven and Stevie Richards, they always put each other over. You know what I mean? So that's the type of camaraderie, and that breaks the fourth wall too, and that flips the wrestling bubble upside down too, because so much of the wrestling bubble is dog eat dog.
Yeah, exactly. Which is so stupid. It's like you're buying into the personality. I mean, come on, we're talking about wrestling here. You know, you're really buying into the personality.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yep.